Airborne Ebola alert from the Potter blog site, July 30th, 2014. The Centers for Disease Control has released guidance to aircraft crews. They're targeting flight crews, cleaning crews, and cargo crews. And reading through this document, it's clear that the CDC sees Ebola as being human-to-human airborne transmissible, as in you cough, the person next to you gets it. Now we'll go into this in a quick bit of detail. The three things that jumped out of that document at us. First is that they see this concern as being primarily airborne. They say keep the sick person separated from, they tell the flight crews, keep the sick person separated from others as much as possible. Provide the sick person with a surgical mask to reduce the number of droplets expelled into the air by talking, sneezing, or coughing. If the person can't tolerate a surgical mask, give them tissues and a plastic bag to put them in, and wear disposable gloves when in direct contact with body fluid. They're also directing the flight crews not to use compressed air to clean the aircraft. Quote, do not use compressed air which might spread infectious material through the air. And then the third thing is the CDC is once again threatening legal action for flight crews that don't report passenger illness. Now, we've reported on that in some detail in previous posts, but here it says clearly, required by law to report. And we have a link to this on our site. Now the other thing you might not know is that the two missionaries that have come down with Ebola in Africa, at least one of them is based out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Today they had a suspected case of Ebola in Charlotte, North Carolina. The hospital did not test this person for Ebola because they tested positive for malaria. Now think about that for a second. Malaria tests are known to have a high false positive rate. Early on, Ebola shows similar symptoms to malaria. And having malaria does not preclude one from also having Ebola. Now, as we speak, 60 exposed missionaries are going to evacuate Africa, we believe back to Charlotte, North Carolina, where they're based out of. So the person that this hospital went into lockdown for, it seems they're directly connected to these Ebola missionaries that went to Africa. We see this as the height of medical irresponsibility. And it's important to note that when and if Ebola does enter the United States, there will be pressures to underreport it. Because the big threat from Ebola is that people will panic and freak out and it'll cause economic damage. The immediate impact from Ebola will be that it will shut down hospitals and funeral homes when it does hit. Now, the Department of Defense has deployed, back in April, they deployed Ebola detection kits to National Guard units in all 50 states. They're called, this is a JB AIDS unit. And if you see this deployed somewhere in use, it means something very serious is going on. And as part of this JB AIDS unit, they're also carried on the JB PDS unit, which you see here, this Humvee. This Humvee detects airborne biological contamination. And note the chimneys here, these three chimneys here, because this can be a standalone unit. And the person operating this Humvee will have this JB AIDS unit with them also. So if you see this unit, or even the back of this unit set up somewhere, please let us know. And this is an alternate vehicle that accomplishes the same thing, because this is a significant sign that something is really, really going wrong. Airborne Ebola.